In this video, I'm going to take you through what is going to be in my bag for the 2025 golf season. So we're going to start at the top end of the bag because there's not been a change here. If you haven't already, make sure that you go and check out my fitting video that I did. I think it was round about August time where I got the top end of the bag fit by Al down at Bearwood Lakes. And we're going to start here. We've got the Mizuno Pro Fly High. This is a 2-iron. It's got the Ventus HB 8X shaft in there. I do also have a 7-wood that I alternate with this club, but at the moment I feel like this is a keeper. I've felt that the 7-wood sometimes just pops it a little bit too high and swinging it a little bit better, so I'm able to use this one. Very versatile, good off the tee I generally use it for, but then some if I get a nice lie in the fairway or just a slightly raised up one in the semi-rough, a club that I can rely on there. This is carrying around that sort of 230 mark. Next club along is the 5-wood. New head cover. That's soft and lovely. But we've got the 5-wood here. It's 18 degrees set standard. It's the ST Max 230, so more of the forgiving lineup. They do the titanium one as well, but I was finding that they were just so strong and going absolutely miles in the 5 and the 3, as where this one, ST Max, like I say, set at 18. It's got a 7X Fuji Ventus in it. A club that I think is a real fairway finder when I'm not swinging it great. It's one that I know just pops it up in the air. It carries around the 245 mark and is just versatile off the fairway, off the tee, out of a bit of rough. It's a club that I can just bank on. It's been quite an interesting sort of period with it. I've not had a 5-wood, I don't think ever. I think it's the first time I've actually had a 5-wood in my bag, and I must say I'm rather enjoying it. Next one along is in the same family. It's my 3-wood and it is the ST Max 230. It's actually set a tiny bit lower. This one goes 265 yards off the tee, carry wise. I use it off the fairway, generally drops to about 255 carry there. This one again, Fujikura 7X Ventus in there. And it's one of those, just because it's the more forgiving lineup, I find it so easy to use, so reliable. I find it very good off the tee. It's not going crazy long and getting up to near the driver, but one that doesn't look behind the golf ball, especially doesn't look like a, you know, maybe a higher handicappers or more forgiving club. It's quite a sleek profile. When you've got it set slightly open, it looks really square. So one that I actually have been using quite a lot off the tee when the driver isn't going to plan. Now, one little change that I've made with the driver is that I've changed the neck setting. I've got the ST Max 230. This is the 10.5 head. It was set to a degree lower, so it was playing at 9.5, but I've got it a degree lower now, but also had it made upright, and for some reason that has just started to help me find a little bit more consistency in the strike, and if I miss it, it's only slightly out the toe, as where I was more of a heel striker. It was a degree down and slightly flatter beforehand, as where now this upright setting has helped me find the toe a little bit more, and especially this first few games that we've had of the new year out in La Cala, I've actually drove it really well. Probably the best driving performance I would say I've had in many a month, so maybe it's just that little setting tweak that has helped. Ventus TR6X red in there, and that is the top end of my bag at the moment. And the next section that we're going to move on to is the tech that I'm actually going to be using. ShotScope Ambassador, have been for a couple of years now, and I think the products are really, really good. We've got the watch, the V5 that I've been using for some time now. Never thought I would be a watch user, but fully immersed in that camp because of these little things that come along with it, the tags that go in the end of the golf club. And what we're able to do with those tags is pair them back to the ShotScope app, which I think is possibly the best bit of all the ShotScope products. With the tags and the watch, it's recording every shot that you hit, and once you do it, you're able to get your performance out of each club, how far they're going, what the tee shots are looking like, either just a basic overview looking at how your fairways hit, or you can go strokes gained as well and look at the strokes gained relative to different handicaps, whether it's a pro, a 0 handicap or a 5 handicap. I'm generally using 0 handicap at the moment because that's roughly where my game's at, but I'm wanting to get to that pro level and benchmark myself against those. But those combined as well with the laser, I've been using the Pro LX2 laser. I find this is possibly the best one out of them all. It's the step below the premium one. Really handy. It's got red and black mode on it. You can have it in slope, non-slope mode. Fits in the hand really nice and just tucks nicely into the bag if you're not using your little case. But for me, like I say, the watch and the tag combo, you just get so much out of it with the Shot Scope app, and if you haven't already, I would definitely recommend looking into something like that. And the next change that we have in the bag is this one down at the other end, the Wedges. We've got the new Mizuno Pro T1 in a 52 degree and a 58 degree. Now the 52 has got 10 degrees of bounce with the S grind on there, and the 58 has the C grind on there. I think I'm right in saying there's 6 different grinds that you can get throughout the T1 range. The 52 I generally use from 100 yards and in, and then sort of bump and run chips around the green. The 58 I use more from 50 yards in for more height or lofted pitch shots, and then out of the bunker as well. With that C grind, it looks like the letter C almost around the back of the sole of the club. Just very versatile, so I can open it up, I can close it down, and overall just a lovely club. They've forged both the heads on these, so they feel great, they look great behind the golf ball, and overall very pleased with them. I think they're a step above where the T24 was. They just have that little edge in terms of the looks. And another new addition in the bag, partly because I had to give my old putter away after the Break 50 video, is this one. This is the club that I've been most impressed with from Mizuno, the new releases. It's the M-Craft X putter, and I've got the number 4. So if you haven't already, make sure that you check out the video on those where we tell you a bit more about them. But essentially, it's a mallet putter that gives you the feedback of a blade, but the forgiveness of the mallet, and it also has a changeable back. So currently, I've got the sort of squarer mallet back on at the moment, but you do have the ability to put 2 other ones on, being the number 5 and number 6. Number 6 being the fang-like one, and the number 5 being more of the rounded back mallet. But fantastic putter, forged face, it feels fantastic. It looks very sort of sleek and stealth-like and crafty in its looks. 33 inches for me. It's got the double bend neck on there with the spud neck as it's called. You do have some other options in this one, but I think, you know, I chop and change putters a lot, but it's one that I really like, and if I do actually want to change, all I've got to do is unscrew it and stick a new back in. I don't have to change the actual grip, shaft and face part of it, so all very good, this one. The other addition to the bag as well that fits nicely with this is the new ball from Mizuno Pro golf ball. I've got the X version that is the S version as well. They're just different in feels and spins that you get in the long game. So this one spins a tiny bit more, and it's got the mid to high trajectory launch. The S is a slightly softer feeling but lower spinning ball with the longer part of the game. So for me, great touch around the greens with these ones, and especially off the putter face, they feel fantastic as well, and then they give me the numbers I need with the driver and the irons into the green. So there's only one last thing that we need to look at now. And for you eagle-eyed viewers from the start of the video, what you will have noticed that there aren't many irons in this bag, and the reason why there isn't many irons in the bag is because I have a decision to make whether I play the 925 forged in black, in the chrome, or I go for the S3, the Mizuno Pro S3. Let's head to Bearwood and see my final fitting for which one I'm going to have.
So I think you've probably got 3 options. Forged, 925 forged.
Yeah.
Going to give you a little bit more distance just because of the construction and the head materials.
Yeah. Not my main priority.
Okay. Full set of S3s.
I mean, they're probably the best looking thing since me, but also quite harsh like me.
Yep. Yeah, agreed. Or then we look to do split set. So whether that's a combination of the S3 and 245 or 243, and then we can play about with lofts, get the yardages correct. We might have to strengthen the S3s, might have to soften the 245s, just kind of get that blended set. But I think the best thing to do is let's hit a few with the shaft optimizer, because we've not done that for a while.
Yeah.
Find out where you are. Once we've got the shaft dialed in, then we can have a play about with heads and see where we end up.
And that's going to give me loft. No, it's going to give me the shaft. Does it give me lie angle as well?
It will do, yeah. It's got a gyroscope in there, so that will measure the shaft in real time.
Okay.
So that'll actually give us a recommended lie reading.
Okay, right. Let's hit a few of that then.
In terms of
club, if you were, yeah. If you were pick, if I didn't have a choice, and you said, looking at your game.
I mean, I think you could use the S3s right through.
Yeah.
It's just, you're going to have that conversation with yourself that whatever we do to tweak them,
yeah,
they are going to be a little bit less, not less hot, they're more honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not
a JPX, they're not a 245.
The two, yeah, they've got, you know, it's a one-piece forging. It is what it is. It's got a little bit of forgiveness with the cavity, but there's no micro slot in there. It's just a traditional one-piece forged club.
So we're going back 20 years loft, essentially.
Yeah, but also the tech, I mean,
but we're getting a bit more forgiveness than what we would have got 20 years ago.
You're getting a little bit more forgiveness, but you've not got the pop that you're going to get from the 243 or the 245 with the technology in there. That's kind of why this is under the S banner of signature. It's traditional, it's no bells and whistles, it's just a one-piece forged. What you see is what you get.
I didn't think you would have said S then.
No?
No. I would have thought you said JPX H. Yeah.
You don't struggle for distance, do you?
No, I wouldn't say that's a worry.
No.
But then, like, in my mind now, I'm like, oh, like, if I left them there, if I'm hitting 7 iron 170,
yeah,
I'm like, oh my God, like, that's well short. Like, on tour, they're hitting it 190, but I'm not on tour.
I was going to say, I didn't see your name on the start list. But it's going to be a recalculation in your head of what you used to hit versus what we'll get close.
Yeah.
But you'll find that your front to back yardages will be more consistent.
Oh, right, okay.
You won't get the hot one that you catch maybe.
Yeah. Just in the slot there.
Yeah. Get more comfortable with those. Bump that back.
Clubs chosen. And here is the final set of clubs that we have ended upon. Previously, in terms of the irons, I was looking at the JPX 925 Forge just because I was thinking about forgiveness and a little bit of distance. But after trying them here in the studio and out on the course, up against what I've ended with the S3, I just felt a little bit more confident looking down on these. They are slightly larger, the JPX, in terms of comparing them to the S3, and I just felt that these suited my eye. And even when I had my fitting with Al, sort of the confidence that he gave me, and even when I have been hitting more and more of these irons, I felt like with the work I'm doing with my coach and the progress that I want to make with my golf swing, these are actually good enough, or I'm good enough to use these. And even the sort of look that they don't look as forgiving, they actually you get away with quite a bit. If you don't quite get out toe and heel, if you're not quite getting the centre, you still get pretty decent flights out of them. So I've ended up with a 4 to pitching wedge set in these. I do have a backup 4 and 5 iron in the 245s, just in case I do feel that these are getting a little bit too much for me to handle. Hopefully they won't be coming out. Now, one big change as well, I've gone back into steel shafts, as you may know. For the previous 3 years, I had graphite iron shafts, the Axiom ones. When we did the optimizer down at Mizuno, which is a little gadget that you will have seen in the fitting there, which gives you some options for shafts based on how you were swinging the golf club. Axiom didn't actually come out on top of those. There was 3, and then that was about 5th or 6th. So we tried these, and I've ended up with a Nippon LSL shaft, which is low spin and launch. It's a prototype. It's an X Flex. We actually had S to start off with, but I found that in the X's I was just keeping them a little bit more tighter in terms of dispersion from front to back and sideways as I've gone through those. So S3s, 4 to pitching wedging those with those Nippons, and then in the wedges I've also ended up with a Nippon one, but a different one, a WV 125 tour only shaft. So yeah, feels quite nice, and again just a little bit different to what I've had over the past few years. But these are the clubs that we've ended up with. Hopefully there won't be too much tinkering over the years, and a big thank you to you guys who are watching for making this possible. And as well, why don't you watch this video here, where you could actually win yourself a full set just like this one. Driver all the way down to wedges, putter, irons, everything included, and a bag. You're going to get those fit by Al in a tour fitting down at Bearwood Lakes and play some golf with me. And if you're not able to come and visit us, we are also giving a set away to, let's say, someone in America if you live over there. So there's an extra iron set to give away. That happens when we hit 250,000 subscribers. We're only 5,000 away. So that little button there, give it a subscribe, watch that video. See you in the next one.